All right, hey guys, welcome back to the eBay shop. My name's Corey.
I'm Teresa.
And we are Grams and Pops Vintage. And today we're going to talk a little bit about transforming your eBay business.
No, we're not.
Kind of.
We're going to talk about Transformers.
We're going to talk about Transformers. We're going to talk about bulk buys. A few videos back, we talked about we were going to start making larger purchases. We were going to start making higher ticket item purchases so that we could grow our businesses and actually sell less and do less packing and shipping and less work total, right?
Businesses.
Business. Singular.
Yes.
Talking's hard.
Yep.
But that's kind of the gist of it. We did make one of those type of purchases recently.
Yep.
This past week.
We'll talk about it.
And we're going to talk a little bit about that. But as usual, we do have some things that need to go out. Some things that sold over the weekend. And the first one of those is what?
Cobalt blue glass. We sold a cobalt blue open rose footed candy dish with the lid. Don't break it.
It's this thing here, and it is very cool, but it is very breakable, and I don't want to be holding on to it. So what did something like this sell for?
$17 plus shipping. And I spent like a whole lot of time researching jewelry and listing jewelry and getting it organized so that it's easy to find.
So what does a bag of fish rocks sell for?
They're not fish rocks. That is from a company called White House Black Market. They're black acrylic 7-layer necklace, and it sold for $17.49 free shipping. There
you go. That's what that looks like. All right, so this buy was actually listed on Marketplace for a while. It had been there. We had both seen it over the last 2-3 weeks and never paid it much attention until after we started talking about doing higher ticket purchases. Then we kind of gave it a little bit more scrutiny. I think initially they had it listed at $2,500.
Yes.
Which was, even at $2,500, I think it would have been an okay purchase. It would have been a little bit more iffy for us, but I think you would have been okay.
Yes.
But they dropped the price to $1,500 not long before we started looking at it. And then we actually got in and negotiated a little bit more based on what was there. We looked everything up.
We did. I spent probably 2 hours looking up everything, writing down what they sold for, what they're currently listed for, just so that we had an idea of what would be a good price in order for us to still make money.
It was, I mean, we spent $1,100 on it. That's where the negotiation landed. We got it for $1,100. It was 39, I think, 39 Transformers. That sounds insane. So we did.
But Hannah did the math, and that's only $28 a piece.
It is. It's about $28 a piece. And we did do the research. Like, we looked every one of them up. We made sure that that was going to put us in a range where we were going to do okay on them. And we're not making 10x on them.
No.
But we're going to do okay on them. And we'll kind of see that throughout the video here. But yeah, the $1,100 for 39 Transformers. That's where we landed. So that's a big buy.
Yeah, after we did the research, the next day, I had already had it arranged to go pick something else up in the town by us.
Yep.
Because it was a good deal. It was some hair
supplements.
Hair supplements, yes. But Corey texted them that morning and was like, okay, would you do this? And he texted them at like 7:30 when we left the house.
Yeah.
He didn't get a response back until 9 o'clock because the guy doesn't get out of bed till 9 o'clock.
By that time, we were already an hour away, headed back home.
Yep.
We were almost home when we got the text. So we couldn't do much about it that day, but we lined up a pickup the next day. So the deal was done, Facebook market style done, meaning it ain't never done till you have the stuff in your home.
Yep.
But we had a pickup time scheduled for an $1,100 agreement for those Transformers, and that's... We did end up getting them the next morning.
We did. Hannah and I went and drove down to go get them because Corey had to record his podcast with SSK promo Mr. Bill. Yep.
We recorded the Reseller Clickbait podcast that morning while Teresa and Hannah were in town picking those up. And they got them home about the time we finished the podcast, and we got to start looking them up that afternoon.
Our daughter was down here working at the business with us, and it was a little slow. So she had them all drafted up, ready for me to take pictures of them before we left that night.
Yep. So... yeah, we had them, I mean, we just need to photograph them at this point, right?
Correct.
Yep. So they should be listed here shortly. All right, let's look at what sold next.
We sold some M&Ms. Kind of.
We sold some really old, funky M&Ms.
We sold a M&M World Blue Saxophone Player Candy Coin bank
I don't
dispenser.
know. Am I too close to see that?
I don't know.
Step back.
It does have the original candy still in it.
Yep.
Nope.
Not
After trying
recommending.
1988 bubble gum, I don't think I'm gonna try. I don't know what year candy M&Ms.
I couldn't read it anyway. But this sat over here on the shelf for quite a while, and we did get some enjoyment out of having him on the shelf. M&Ms, for us, we keep looking them up because they look cool and they look like they'd be worth something. We've yet to find anything M&M related that was worth much.
No, well, I don't want to say it. I did look up a lot of M&M stuff on Marketplace.
Yep.
That they had I think it was 8 or 10 items on there. And there was one good out of the whole thing. But for the price that they wanted for it, we would not have made money. So I just didn't even do anything with it.
M&M has just not been great in our experience. So.
Nope. But now I'm going to have to fill in my shelf behind me with some more stuff.
This is going out, and it's going out for how much?
$12 plus shipping.
12 plus shipping.
The next thing is something I like to look up. I even have my kids, when I buy them, my kids will volunteer to look them up for me.
Do.
2 of the 3, my girls. So we sold a Littlest Pet Shop, Pet Hideout Series 1, blind bag, bulldog.
Looked like a chihuahua, but
It's like that little.
bulldog.
But guess what? I get to mark another country off of my map.
Where's he going?
I don't know. I think it's said Czechia, but it's
Czechia?
CZECHIA.
Yeah, we'll leave that one alone.
I don't know. But
going
anyways,
there.
it's going international. And he sold for $9.99.
There you go for that tiny little guy.
Yep.
It's pretty bad when you actually have to build the package bigger just so he won't get lost in the mail. Like that tiny little thing there is going to ship for nothing, like 4-ounce rate for sure.
Oh, it ships for
I think 4
2 to
ounces is
3
the
ounces.
first rate.
Yeah, 3. Well, yeah.
He'll be under 4.
Yep.
See.
Now, do you want to see what we bought?
Oh yeah, we can show you what $1,100 worth of Transformers looks like.
This is our Transformer shelf.
Yep, we've cleared off one whole shelf for them.
They are a majority of these Transformer Masterpiece series. I don't know much about them. They are a Takara Tomy brand.
Whatever that means.
It's Tomy makes a lot of different stuff. So, whoops, I gotta put it in so we can read it.
The moral of the story is we had no idea what we were buying.
Nope.
We had to look everything up because we don't know anything about Transformers at all, guys.
Nope.
But this is kind of what we bought. And there's some big ones and some little ones. Most are that Masterpiece series.
We have some wee tiny ones.
There's a few loose ones, and we got the green ones over there, kind of a generic Ollie.
These ones are an
AliExpress.
AliExpress, but they all go together. There's 6 of them.
It makes one big robot.
It makes one big Transformer.
Those
so
are the cheapest ones we have.
these are knockoffs.
Yeah, they're knockoffs. The rest of these are all kind of the real deal. Well, there's a couple that are like this one
and this one and this one.
But we've got them all priced out, and that's $1,100 worth of Transformers right there.
Yep, and we'll make sure that we note any box damages because there are a few that had some weird box damage. So like this one, I can stick my whole finger in there.
Yeah, some of those have box damage, but the cool thing is everything that has a box, they're 100% complete. All the accessories and everything are in them.
This company really liked to package.
Like instructions and everything.
You have to take out like 3 layers of styrofoam just to get to the Transformer.
Yeah, he's got all his little pieces in there. So yeah, they're very complete and they are in great shape. A lot of them come with their own little trading card. They're all in there. So I think what they did is took them out of the boxes to display.
Yep.
And then they threw the boxes in a closet somewhere, which is why they're kind of beat up. But the Transformers themselves are in really good shape.
It doesn't seem like a lot.
It doesn't. And spending that much on Transformers is definitely... Yeah, we had to really scrutinize it. We had to really do our research like we talked about in our previous video. Like we spent quite a bit of time just making sure it was a good purchase.
Yep, and then I gave him dollar amounts and he cut it in half.
Yeah, I'm a pessimist when it comes to buying stuff. If it's selling on eBay for $50, I figure we're going to make 30. Like,
yep.
I am very conservative with what I think they're going to value out at, and that works to our advantage. Mm-hmm. She will see something that sells on average on Facebook for 50 and think we're going to sell it for 60. No. She's an optimist.
I haven't gotten burned on it yet. Knock on wood.
That's because you have me to round those numbers down. No, but I think we're going to do quite well on it. And we'll talk about what we have them listed at, what we ended up listing everything at later in the video here. But we got a few more things that sold. And what's the first of those?
Some LuLaRoe. We sold a LuLaRoe Randy tee, black and white geometric shapes with red sleeves.
I don't think Randy's going to look very good in that.
Randy is a girl's name too.
I guess. Not the kind of Randy I was thinking, but could be a girl. How much that sell for?
$15. But we've already made all of our money back on that LuLaRoe mix-up.
The flub. We've actually done really good on that.
We have.
So there you go, Randy. Heading your way.
The next item, I was skeptical about buying it, but it was so cool, so I had to buy it.
I'm still not sure about. I don't know if I would buy that again.
It sold for a good dollar amount, and I didn't pay much for it.
It sat around for a while. Where'd we get that?
I don't even know.
I don't remember. I do remember picking it up. Like, I remember the day we bought it.
I paid
but I don't remember where we got it.
$4 for it.
It's kind of a cool vase. But it's...
I had to do some maneuvering to get it clean because it like goes down into like a little itty bitty spot inside of it. And there was some dirt in there because somebody had actually used it as a flower vase.
Yep.
And so I had to do some maneuvering.
This is a good example of where we see something and think, ooh, that's fancy, and find out later that we don't know what fancy actually is.
But that sold for good money.
So that sold for how much?
$32.
$32.
4 into 32.
And we will be looking to pack that up this afternoon. All right, so did we
make a boo-boo?
Yeah, I was going to use a different analogy. I'm not going to use that one. So how did we do on this purchase? Well, right now we're 1,100 in the hole because we haven't actually hit list on them yet.
And we haven't sold. Yeah, we haven't sold nothing.
But we did draft everything yesterday at the office. We have to take photographs of everything today because that's the only thing missing. The listings are 100% done. They just need to have photographs taken and inventoried for that shelf. And I believe we ended up with 4,600?
Yep. I think
4,600 in listings.
We drafted them. I did not do the math on it. Corey was doing the math on it while I was doing some other stuff yesterday. So
Yep. So I made a whole separate sheet for them in our inventory sheet, and we're sitting at $4,600 worth of listings on that shelf. So if everything sells, we did very, very well on it. And the sell-through rates looked really good. Like some of those, I would say 5 or 6 of those were the only one listed. Like the ones, few of the other ones that there are more listed, they're in China and Japan, and like there's none stateside.
Yep.
Some in Canada but stateside wise, like there's not a ton of that listed. So they seem desirable. Sell-through rates are good, and there's very few of them out there. And
I tried really hard. So the guy that we bought them from, a little backstory, he is a G1 transformer collector.
Yep.
Anybody that doesn't know what G1 is, it's the first generation Transformers.
We didn't know until like a week ago.
But he collects them, and he is just downsizing his collection. Yeah. And he's got way more.
This was his garbage stuff. This was the stuff he wanted out of his collection.
Yep. And so the one he did tell me about, which my daughter was like, what? Was one that he has that he chats with another G1 collector down south somewhere. And the guy was telling him about it, and he's like, yep, I'm not displaying that anymore. Whatever it was, whatever the transformer was, he took it off his shelf, stuck it back in the box, stuck it in a box, and put it away because it's a $3,000 transformer.
Why have something you're afraid to put out, though? That's what I don't get about collectors sometimes. I don't think I would want anything I was afraid to show. Like, if you can't enjoy it, what's the sense of having it?
I think for those, I would find something to put
That's why I
them
married
in.
you. I like the eye candy.
Whatever.
Trophy wife.
Yeah. I would find some, like the one doll that we had here
get a
had
glass
that shelf.
case.
Yeah, I would get a case or something so that if somebody, they didn't bump it and knock it off of a shelf. I'd be.
I don't know. I would have to display it, but yeah,
like
that is kind of like that's where we ended up, about $4,600, and we are conservative on our listings. Mm-hmm. We didn't list highest in the market or anything, and if we hit that number, even with, we have best offers turned off, at least for now, for the first 30 days when we go to list them. And we may turn them on after the 30 days, but I think
there'll be a lot gone before
I think we're going to do very good on that. And I think because there's only 39, we're going to recover our money very quickly. So the risk will be gone.
There are
shortly.
a couple, we should only have to sell like 5 of them, and they would pay the entire $1,100 off.
So that's where we ended up on the big buy. And we plan to do a lot more of these going forward. So
I've already been researching.
Yep.
I have my own little spreadsheet that I add
watching.
a tab to that I'll go through and do the research on it, and I'll be like, yep, nope, delete the tab, hide the item.
So we'll kind of talk a little bit about how we're finding these types of buys. Like we're going to be doing more and more of these. So we'll kind of share with you a little bit about how we're finding them and how we're getting into these types of purchases. But we do still have more stuff that's sold. So let's look at a few more items.
Out of my $20 Barbie doll box buy, I know I keep referring to that, we sold a Sisters Sleep Time playset. It is incomplete. I have it torn down for shipping, but it is actually a bunk bed.
Kind of the buy that just keeps on giving. We keep selling stuff out of that.
Yep. It's a bunk bed. It has a few accessories with it. It will go back together.
So how much does a Barbie bunk bed sell for?
$30.99.
$30.99. And yeah, eventually that $20 will be used up. But for now, we just keep selling. So that's been a good purchase.
It has been. And so has the next one.
Okay. I'm just going to grab one of these, but...
These are the 1988 Topps Football Jumbo Packs with 40 cards in them.
Yep, these are the big packs. So these are... The wax packs, I think, had 12 or 14 cards. The normal cello packs have 29, maybe? 29 cards? But
30.
anyway, these ones have 40. So these are the jumbo cellophane packs from 88. Those... We have these listed in boxes and individual. This person actually came in and bought 5 individual packs.
Yep.
Right? For how much?
$17 a piece.
17 a piece. What was the total on that?
$85.
$85 for 5 of those.
Yep.
All right. So would you like to share how we're finding these buys?
Facebook Marketplace primarily.
Marketplace and Craigslist.
Yep. I did go search Craigslist, but Craigslist is a pain.
There are some that pop up on there from time to time if you're watching. So don't discount it yet because there are some on there. But Marketplace has been more productive for us.
Yes.
But it's also Marketplace. Like
it's Marketplace, but and the funny thing is we search differently. I search primarily on my phone. He searches primarily on the computer.
Yeah. I can't seem to filter anything on. I have an iPhone. She has a Samsung. The search and the filter sections for Facebook are completely different. They don't even look remotely the same on the app. So the iPhone app for Facebook Marketplace is garbage.
Oh, did I tell you? I'll give you a piece of information that'll even surprise you.
Oh boy.
So I reached out to somebody on Marketplace since we were talking about buying bulk buys on Marketplace. I reached out to somebody. They have I don't know if you saw it, a Kiss.
The Kiss collection, I saw it.
Yeah.
It's a big collection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I reached out to them and asked them, how much they wanted for the whole thing.
Was he at 30? Is that the one I saw at 30?
No.
No? What's he want for the whole collection?
They have started to work with a store to try and list their stuff. They are willing to negotiate, but he gave me a number of 47 grand. But there is almost 3,500 items in that lot.
Yeah. So that's the part that we are training ourselves to be better at, not being taken aback by those big numbers.
I think he would negotiate if I knew what they all had. I think he would negotiate on pieces of it.
Yeah.
So that we didn't buy it all. Oh my God. Like he told me that number and I'm like, nope.
and that is exactly what we're trying to get rid of, is that knee-jerk reaction of, wow, that's too much.
That's a lot of money to recover.
It is, but if you look at the collection and you price it out and you do your research and you know you're going to make your money back in a good amount of time because it's good sell-through rates, if it was good enough to actually pull the trigger on, that would be a massive buy. And I wouldn't be scared off by that number. I would be
That's
willing
like an
to spend
entire
that.
year's salary for some people.
It is, but if you could make it back in 90 days.
Yeah, and the part of it is he's, you know, he said he was willing to negotiate whatnot, but there's not real great pictures of it out there, so we would almost have to go and.
We'd have to get a list.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, those ones, I mean, that is what we're trying to get rid of, is that sticker shock and the backing away from it. When we see the big prices, rather than just saying no and going to look at the cheaper garage sale stuff, be willing to stop and see why it's that high price. A high price on something should intrigue you. It should make you want to look it up. If I see a $400 depth finder at a garage sale, it might be an $800 depth finder. We don't know.
I did that too on Marketplace. There were some of those that were up north of us, and I looked them all up. But they had them listed at eBay price. So.
Yep. So it's worth looking. Those high prices shouldn't scare you, and that is just an asking price. That doesn't mean anything. You can negotiate that.
Yep, and there's been other people that are within our reselling, like our little reselling group, that they bought something from somebody, and that person has come back and said, "Hey, I still have more.
Yep.
Are you willing to? Do you want to come look some more?" So don't discount. If you buy one thing from somebody, I'm not one to go up and say, "Hey, do you have?" Like we discussed in a previous video. "Hey, do you have video games? Do you have this?" I'm not one to do that. But maybe to ask if they have more of the certain type of thing you're looking at.
Well, we are officially off track on this video, so we should answer the question of how do we actually find bulk lots?
We do. We go on Marketplace and Craigslist.
Okay, Teresa doesn't want to answer you.
I did. I don't know what else you want me to say. I do scour. So looking on Marketplace, you see a lot of items that are individually listed. But now I've started to go in and type in like collection.
There we go.
To see if there's bigger bulk buy. But you have to be wary of that too, because typing collection, Facebook Marketplace also sees it as collector. And so you'll get like a collector plate, one plate.
Which is fine. I mean, that's kind of the stuff we're doing. We're looking for, like when I go in, I search for collection or collections. I search for lot. I search for liquidation. I search for buyout. I search for moving sale. Like as many things as you could think of that would result in a search coming back with lots of items or a big buy or anything like that. People selling off their collections could be great. I mean, I know just that search in our area, there's Star Wars collections, the Kiss collection, there's like this Transformer collection. There's all kinds of collections out there that you could buy out. Not all of them would make a good buy, but they give you something to look at, to decide, and that's not a bad thing. And then oftentimes I actually go into Marketplace and I'll filter. I don't want to see anything that they're asking less than $100 for. And I'll check that out, because when you're looking at stuff that's over $100, you might just find that one item. It could just be a Sony camera like the one we're recording on, where they're asking $200 but it's worth $400. That would be a great buy if it had the right sell-through rate.
I did hit up somebody on the Star Wars thing too.
Did you?
I did. He's getting back to me on Wednesday. He's going to send me a list of what he's got.
So that's kind of how we're finding these. Now, I do have to give a lot of credit to Paul and Ryan at Resell CNY. I wouldn't have started looking for collections had we not started watching their channel almost a year ago, when they were still in their basement before they got the shed built. Like, those guys buy collections, and watching their channel kind of got us in that mindset. It kind of pulled us out of that individual thrift store buying mode, and it was largely thanks to that channel. So if you haven't seen their channel, check it out. But that's kind of the method we're using. We're still doing the garage sales. We're still, thrift stores are kind of like date night. We don't use them for sourcing much. But we have found some stuff there, but it's more just fun we go to. Garage sales, we will still heavily lean on this summer, but we are actively looking for higher dollar stuff, like we said in a few videos ago. And so far, that is working out pretty well for us. Yep,
and storage units, I just have to get, now that it's starting to warm up a little more around here, I'll get out there and list the last few pieces of furniture that we have out there.
All right, we got a few more items that we do have to get packed up, and what are those?
We sold out of one of our storage units, speaking of it, a Contigo Auto Spout Chug Flip Top. It's a water bottle.
It's a water bottle. Stainless steel water bottle. Nothing super special about that, but that's sold for how much?
$15.
$15. Sometimes water bottles could be good, but sometimes not so much. Ooh, that's got a little bit of a ripple right there. Huh. We'll have to look. Maybe not. It could have just been dirt. All right, what's the final thing?
A Tatanka, as you call it.
It's fitting, from South Dakota.
As my daughter calls it, a Buffalo.
A Buffalo. So we got a Schleich, right?
Yep, a Schleich American Bison figure. It is a retired figure. And it sold for $13.
It's kind of cool. So Buffalo from South Dakota going out. All right. I think that is it. Mm-hmm. So we have officially, would you say, transformed our business then? Can we use that now?
No.
No? We'll see. We'll see if they start selling.
So if you're in the market for Transformers, watch our store for the next few days because we will be getting them listed.
Yep. There's some cool ones in there. So.
Plugging our stuff.
All right. So that is it for today, guys. We've got to get some of this stuff packed up and we will see you next time.
Hasta la vista, baby.